It has been a while since my last video. A lot has happened. I'm very excited to show you how I pulled off my Maison Margiela Pat McGrath skin porcelain look. Shininess, happiness, greeniness. I wanted to put my own spin on it. Like those old paintings have gone a bit green, and I wanted to make my skin look a little bit green because I think I might like that colour. I'm not sure, but so I have shaved, I've prepped, I've got some hyaluronic acid on my skin because this is quite the process and I don't want my skin to scream at me. I'm going straight in with the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. Now I'm going to be going in with the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation in Mont Blanc. This is my go-to for everything. I do like to wear it for drag a lot just because it sits on my skin a lot nicer, it's good for my texture, and I always get compliments when I'm wearing it. So a lot has been going on. Some things I've required therapy, but I mean therapy is always required for me. You know, it's no bad thing. Just say that you need it. Just going in with my velvet sponge. I can't do foundation brushes. Just doing my best to keep the element of play in life just to make it bearable. I've actually taken up film photography and that's been really nice. Been very nice, very fun. I don't know how people can put foundation on their eyelids. It just, well, the oil is going to gather up. I'm going to be mixing this Louise base with some concealer, Tarte Shape Tape. That's quite nice. And yes, I'm being a little bit nasty by doing it on my hand, but it keeps it warm because this concealer can dry and I don't want it to dry. Okay, just gonna dab. Yes, I know I dab things off my hand, but I don't want to lose it all by scraping the sponge with it. Okay. Beep beep pew, beep 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 beep. Forehead. Very big forehead. So we've done majority of the blending. I sort of just let it diffuse onto the ears a little bit. Not so much this side because it's got my hearing aid on it. A little bit down the neck. Remember, this is just sort of a face only look. So I'm not too bothered about the neck. I usually just put a choker on there to cover it up. It's almost like the moon emoji, but so now I'm just going to go in with my concealer. It's not so stressful to do that with a coloured base because I'm using a sponge that has a colour on it, so while I'm blending it, it's just going to turn into a lighter version of that colour, so it's not going to be so stark but still provide that highlight that I want. And with this look, because there's going to be the final layer on top that is wet, so things are going to be moved around, so I wouldn't do too many details for this look. I would do something that's very soft and airy, so that's why I used contrasting colours, which you will see soon, to sort of counteract anything that might look a bit boring. For the second layer of concealer, I'm more focusing on the center of my face and not spreading it out anymore. I'm just going in the center, just back and forth here until it's blended out. So next up for my base, I'm going in with this Louise pigment. It does stain like hell because it is so intense. So if you use something like this, just be wary that it's gonna stain. Going in with my sponge, blend that out. I like to pick up my cheek while that happens. Just gonna add a bit more, just slowly intensify it. It's better to slowly intensify it than be like, I did too much. And then just bringing it up to the temple. So I've been going out to Cindy's lately. Not as much as I would like to because I live so far away. But I'm glad I have a space to go to feel validated, to feel accepted, and feel like I'm allowed to express myself without any judgment, which is pretty rare. When I first started out in drag, I literally had someone called. This person would say hello to all my friends and be like, oh hi, I love you, oh hi, oh hi, and then get to me and be like, multiple times. You know, we all start somewhere. Like if you're judging someone that starts, you know, not so polished straight away, God forbid, and that's just not inviting, you know? We already face enough adversity and now you're gonna act like that. People don't forget things like that. That becomes attached to who you are and what you represent, and that's gonna bite you in the ass. Now I'm going in with a deeper colour. Now this is where you need to be a little bit more mindful because this is quite intense. So I just blend it right on the spot. Just over and over, just on the spot, right? And then just slowly do little circles around it because you want to center for your blush, and then that just sort of spreads out, makes it a little bit more defined, but not so that it's like, it just. And so for my nose contour, it's just gonna be a pretty similar principle. I'm gonna go in with, where is it? With that lighter pink, ever so slightly. Boop. Go at the bridge, buff it out there, and then slowly climb up. So for lips, I almost struggled to figure out what colour to use on the lips. I didn't want to do a lipstick, but I didn't want to just leave it the same skin tone as the face. I wanted it to stand out a little bit, and I've always had a sort of jaw to very pale blue minty colours. So I actually went in with this sky blue pale baby blue, whatever colour, tone with the theme of using more abstract colours, but at lighter tones so it still blends together. So I'm gonna let all of this air dry. I like to do my brows and carve them before I do my eyeshadow. I do it after my base, and yes, shocker, I'm gonna be going in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Pomade in Caramel. Going in with an angled brush.
Oh, pins and needles.
Nice. Now I'm just gonna struggle with the next eyebrow off camera and I'll be right back. It's not the best, but I'll take it. Sometimes you just have to be like, that's probably the best it's gonna be, and then stick with that. People are just happy to see you. I'm going to carve these brows. P. Louise eyeshadow primer. I don't know what shade it is because it's like faded off. I can't tell if it's pate or if it's giblets for the cats. I've been really wanting to perform a whole lot more. I'm not like, you know, slavey house down boots choreographed drop split kick queen, but I love to play with comedy and references. All of it, I love being silly. I still do some serious numbers. I'd love to get into hosting eventually too. Like, I just feel like there'd be something I'd be good at. And I never had that sort of drag mother experience where someone was guiding me and showing me what to do, how to do this or that. It just very much me learning on my own from trial and error, always making new friends, always just wanting to be with people. There is a way to be out with people and to be queer and to just exist. I don't get to do that a lot, so when it happens it really means a lot to me, because I was left out quite a lot as a child. I never knew why, I never knew what to do about it, but I'm slowly overcoming that and finding my place. I'm trying to feel as positive as possible, and it's easy to lose faith in yourself, what you can achieve when you're trying to prove yourself, and people don't want to have a single whiff of it, but it's possible and it's always there. You just have to make them listen. Sorry for the trauma dump, my goodness. Look, there might be distant cousins, like 16th 3 times removed cousins that I've never met, and one lives in the 1800s and one lives in fucking 12th century BC, but you just have to slap them on. You just have to kind of accept what's gonna happen. And since turning 26, I already spent the past year sort of refining who I want to be around and just being really patient with becoming who I am, because it doesn't happen overnight. It's not easy. There's a lot of questioning, but I feel just so much more clarity with my identity and what I want to be as a performer and just as a person. Okay, we got through the brows and trauma dump. So now that the rest of the face has sort of rested for a little bit, I'm gonna go in with a very hot red color for my blush. Bring it up into the temple. Now I'm gonna go in with a matching powder shadow to set these lips.
The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number...
So when I first did this, it took me like 6.5, 7 hours because I was figuring out how the hell to do it. It took so long. So there are some steps modified here so that I don't have to do it later. So now I'm taking Fenty Beauty powder in Lavender, and then I'm going to take an eyeshadow powder, scrape it off, one that's matching to this, mix it into here, and then set the rest of my face. That way it's not just lavender, it's gonna be some green, so I don't lose any of that tone. So now I've done some mixing. It's a bit hard to, it's a bit hard to tell, but it is a green tone. I promise it's green. Can you see? There we go. So now that I've set everything, I'm gonna go in with a bit more of a stronger green contour. I just want it to look a bit more green, obviously. I don't know if I'm gonna be bothered to put on a wig or not, because I don't have much with me. I've got all my stuff in bags, and that's why I haven't really filmed very much. I haven't had my own space to know that I can film. Now I'm gonna go in with a sort of periwinkle lavender color for shadow. Just really cover it all, get it all over there. I'm just diffusing that purple into the beginning of the brow. Now I'm gonna go in with a more red / deeper pink tone on the edges so that it blends into the blush, but it's still a little bit brighter. When I was out in drag, I had someone approach me and say, "You should be on RuPaul, you should be on RuPaul." And I really, I don't know. I don't know if I would. I don't know. I just don't know. Because, you know, contracts, being away from people, not being able to talk to anyone. As an autistic person, that's a bit of a struggle, and I unravel pretty easily when I can't do that self-care that I need to. But another part of me is like, I want to just prove people wrong and say, yeah, I can do it. But Drag Race isn't the be all or end all to having a drag career. As long as I can perform and have gigs and do that for as long as I want, as much as I want, then that will make me happy. Just like that. Okay, so I don't know what's happening with my camera. I just basically said I'm all done with the red shadow and now it's time for yellow. Really have to pack it on. Now I'm just going to set the face. I emptied my setting spray into one of these fans. Now it's time for highlighter and I'm going to go in. This is my own little concoction of a blend of many shadowed highlighters. There's so much glitter in it that even if your skin is dry, it's gonna show up because it's straight up glitter. Oh. And I'm going from the eyebrow bone, blending that in. This is a wet look, so we want to make it look as wet as possible on its own before the liquid porcelain process, because we don't want to put it all over the eye. You want to avoid putting it on your eyebrow because it's going to rip your eyebrow hairs out. And then I'm going to put a little dot there and a little dot here and over here. Now I'm just going to do my mascara. I don't see why anyone needs to spend more than $20 on mascara. I'm going to put some spirit gum. Just use lash glue, but I didn't have any clear lash glue. Put it in any spot that's going to crease or move a lot while you try and take photos. You can't perform in this look. It is going to crack as soon as you move. You have to stay very still. So I'm going to put it in the creases of my nose and the corners of my mouth. So now I'm going to apply my false lashes. These are in Whisper Babe by Hustle Boutique. So now I'm going to go into the final stage, which is the porcelain skin. Now this took me quite a long time of mixing, figuring out the right consistency. I used this mask, right? You can get it at different chemists, some supermarkets, fairly cheap. I use some cheap setting spray which does have alcohol in it, which isn't the greatest to put on your skin all the time, but it does help with keeping things dry or making things dry quicker. So I put that in a cup along with literally the tiniest bit of warm water and mix it around. And I also put a little bit of gold shimmer in it. I'm not sure if you can see that. Can't. Yeah, anyway. But what also inspired me to make my skin green was that the mask itself is essentially green. So what we're focusing on is everything except the eyes. Using a flat brush, just tapping it. And just start applying it very delicately. Very softly. And then using the other side to get the rest of that excess product off. And then with that little bit left, going down and around the eyebrows. Do not get it on your eyebrow hairs if you can. It will hurt trying to remove it. So I'm going from top to bottom. So if anything drips, whatever's underneath, swipe it away. Okay, under the eye. Swipe. Don't get it in your eye. It's a face mask, not an eyeball mask. And I'm sweeping into the contours instead of out, because I don't want any of the pink to go any further than it already is. It's a bit hard to avoid with this kind of look. Sort of end it at the jawline, because that is going to crease as soon as you move your face. Excuse me. Dry it. If you have one of these big fans, use that. Honestly, just sit in front of it. Be very patient with this part. Be very, very patient. It's gonna take a while. As you can see, it's already hardening quite a lot, and it's restricting my ability to talk, which is quite fun, especially after a couple of glasses of Bailey's. Everything becomes a lot funnier. Once again, stirring it to keep it mixed. Press it like a paintbrush, get rid of the excess, and then top to bottom. This is the third layer. This stuff, it is quite gloopy. I'll probably do 1 or 2 more layers. Oh god. So this is layer 4. It's looking pretty good. I'm gonna do 1 more layer. Oh god, it's killing me. Okay, so as you can see, I literally cannot move my mouth. So what I'm just going to do is, I'm going to touch up some of the yellow and some of the blue and highlighter, just using my finger. Okay. Okay, look, it looks a mess. So when you do that other layer, it'll work itself out. Okay? Now for blue on the lips. And voila! This is the final look. I have officially become a ventriloquist. I'm just gonna play with some lighting. You see what I mean? Normally I would wear a fascinator on top. Up to you what you want to do with your hair. You could try some finger waves, throw in a shaken gone wig, anything slick it all back, whatever, do what you want. It is so much fun to just interpret these different things and do it how you want to do it. Thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for listening to my trauma dump. I already have another video on my Instagram of me taking this off. So if you'd like to go see that, go to Instagram at hair, HERR_Michalak, MICHALAK on Instagram. Go there and have a look. If you have any ideas on what videos you want to see next from me, makeup, not makeup, whatever, give me some ideas, because I want to keep doing this more often. If you want to know what Botox looks like or feels like, this is it, I promise you. Okay, I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.